All right, Shalom, Kol Haloyim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Lachak Wadash, and Shan Yukabad, Kadwala Requab, Zaquanyam Nawa, Wa Shalayakim Nawa, and that's the belongings to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom Waparakim, Labakanyam Shalayasharala, and that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel, and as always, may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon all the brothers that are still offering your bodies as a living sacrifice, pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity. So I have an article right here that I want to bring out. And actually, the article is simply just this video. And the video is basically this guy interviewing an economist who predicted the last financial crisis. And he's warning of a potential upcoming crisis due to COVID-19, or collapse, you can just say, due to COVID-19. So we're going to watch that video and then also a very, very, very short one on YouTube of another economist, or he's actually an investor, who's basically warning of the same thing. And you're going to see basically why I'm entitling this video something along the lines of don't stay asleep, or don't be asleep and keep watching. Basically, because these prophecies are not tarrying. And even though it may seem as if certain things are slowing down here in 2021, the scriptures say to watch and pray. And there's a reason for that, because 2020 came in with a bang. 2019 even came in with a bang. But people are sleeping right now. People are sleeping and thinking that things are going to get better because all of a sudden there may be a so-called vaccine and blah, blah, blah. But we know, according to prophecy, that the economy is going to get worse and worse, and that more and more plagues are going to be sent here in Babylon the Great, and especially around the entire world as well. So don't get caught sleeping is probably going to be the title of this video. Now, let's listen to a little bit of this interview. Actually, we're going to listen to the first part when he introduces this guy, and then we'll jump to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So hopefully you all can hear this.
Let's get some perspective now from an economist who predicted the financial crisis back in 2008 and says beyond the federal government's immediate measures, there is the concern that the virus has exposed debt bubbles that have been building for decades. William White is the former deputy governor of the Bank of Canada and former chairman of the OECD Review Committee. He joins us now. Thanks for being with us, Mr. White.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
You heard that report that outlined what we're seeing from the...
Okay, so that's his short introduction. That's William White. You can look him up in your spare time if you're really super interested. You don't need to. But now, let me go to 250 when he asked a particular question, if I can get there, man. Jeez. That I liked. Here we go.
The central banks are off to a good start.
So given your forecasting abilities, for people who are watching, we've got a lot of people tuning in these days for good reason. They want to know about their retirement savings. They want to know where the economy is going. Many also watching just to stay connected if they're staying at home right now. What do you see as sort of the optimistic case going forward, and what would be your more bearish, if I can put it in those terms, case? What are the two ends of that spectrum when you talk about the outlook?
And of course, when he asked this question, and when we bring out videos like this, you have to take the meat, basically take the good parts, and the good parts are the parts that relate to prophecy. Now, with that being said, there really is no such thing as a pessimistic or optimistic viewpoint moving forward. All there is the viewpoint in prophecy. And either the Holy Spirit is working with you to understand it and see it, and therefore to prepare yourself, or not. And that's all it's coming down to. But I understand why he's wording it like that. Obviously, it's coming from a worldly perspective. For us as the hopeful elect, then we're looking for prophecy to take place. Every single little jot, as it's written, has to take place. Some kind of an economic collapse. There's going to be true famine of food and water, bread, a famine of the word. We're looking for the dollar to collapse, because we know that the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, has to be implemented somehow. You see, so all these things to us are just simply put prophecies that we're looking forward to, and it's a good thing. If you're a part of the hopeful elect, and if you're doing the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, then you have nothing to worry about. The elect have already gotten the victory regardless. But nonetheless, let's get this economist William White perspective on the pessimistic, as he puts, and the optimistic viewpoint moving forward. And you'll see both viewpoints have some kind of negative outlook within the economy.
Well, the optimistic case is that the epidemic, as it were, plays itself out in a reasonably short period of time, and that people with government support and with central bank support, that the job losses are not all that great and the insolvency is not all that great, and that what you wind up with is a quarter or two of perhaps deep output losses, but then the economy comes back in a kind of V-shape formation.
You see? So he's stating the optimistic viewpoint, and he says that the economy comes back, quote unquote, in a form of a V-shape. And basically a V-shape, what he's referring to, I know, is the stock market, which means that things are going to get worse before they get better. There's going to be a strong bounce at the bottom, is what he's predicting, or is what he's saying in the optimistic standpoint. So the stock market goes down, the dollar drops drastically, and then it comes back up in that V shape. That's the optimistic. Now let's listen to his pessimistic viewpoint.
That would be the optimistic view. I guess the pessimistic view would be that the recession lasts longer than we currently think, and that the debts and the financial imbalances that have been building up over a long period of time, and I do remind you that global debt ratios now are significantly higher than they were in 2008, with emerging market economies being more indebted, not just the advanced market economies, so that these kinds of underlying problems also start to play out, and then the recession becomes deeper and longer lasting.
What do you think ultimately?
And that's the point right there. So in a more pessimistic viewpoint, then this recession can come deeper and longer lasting based upon the debt ratio, global, but especially over here in Babylon the Great. Now, last video, and then we'll jump to scriptures, is this one right here. And we're only going to read or listen to maybe a minute and a half. And this is another investor. Check what he's predicting.
Harry Dent. He's an investor who accurately predicted Japan's 1989 economic collapse and the subsequent boom in Europe and the US to come. He also predicted the dot-com crash and wrote a bestseller in 2009 called The Great Depression Ahead. And recently, he's come out with some strong opinions on the US market and the collapse that he thinks is ahead. He said, I expect a stock market peak right here, I'd say somewhere between early December and mid-January, and we see a 2-year crash that rarely continues the crash that started in February. I think that we're about to see one more crash that takes the stock market to new lows. By April is my forecast. Between now and April, another 40% crash. End quote.
So boom, end quote. So between now and April, he's predicting some kind of a 40% stock market crash. And on that note, I'll jump to the scriptures. And Harry Dent, like he mentioned, is a man that's been predicting plenty of different crashes. Look at this YouTube comment right here. It says, Harry Dent, ladies and gentlemen, the man who has predicted 17 of the last 3 economic crashes. I don't know how true that is or not, but I wouldn't doubt it, that he was able to predict that. Now, if a man like that is predicting another crash, and he says by April, we'll see if it comes true or not, then of course we couple that with prophecy, And we know to stay on our P's and Q's through the Holy Spirit. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, and the they here are people that aren't watching or praying. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And that makes me always think of this precept right here. Sirach chapter 5, verse 7 that I have highlighted. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security, remember they were saying peace and safety, and those are the ones that are not watching, not praying. And it says, in their security, thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So suddenly it's going to happen. Why? Because it's going to look like out of nowhere, boom, to these people, that thief just came in and ran up all in their house and took all their goods. But they should have been watching and they should have been praying. And the Lord has given us signs. It's called prophecy. The Lord has given us signs so that we can understand, okay, now is the time that we should be looking for his return. So others are saying peace and safety, but sudden destruction is going to come upon them. Now, verse 3, back in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, it says, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because we have the light. We have the knowledge of these holy scriptures. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. It says, let us watch and be sober. And I've been saying it, but watching and praying go hand in hand. This is the book of Luke, maybe 22, not 22, Luke 21. Luke 21, verse 34 through 36. And as you can see, I mean, these are straightforward precepts, nothing much to really break down. But a lot of people, and I'll say a big part of the world, I'll word it like this. A big part of the world is sleeping right now. And our jobs are to watch and pray and to be a part of that number, right? That's what we're hoping for, to be a part of that number that's going to receive salvation. So Luke 21, verse 34, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare or a trap shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always. See, Watch ye therefore and pray always. Man, this is Satan. That ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Now, things may look like they're tearing and slowing down, but at any moment, literally in the blink of an eye, something could happen. I mean, needless to mention 9/11, we understand what happened back then and how that drastically changed the entire world. Who knows what could happen, especially knowing the times of prophecy that we're living in right now. There are really only two huge prophecies that we're looking forward to, which is the mark of the beast being implemented, which is the microchip, and then, of course, after that, World War III. Those are the two biggest prophecies, two big main prophecies that we're looking forward to. And then you have smaller ones like famine, true famine. Like I mentioned before, famine of the word. Then you have maybe the economic collapse, cities being quarantined. What else? People uprising against the government, things like that. Race wars, you see. But we should be watching for all of these things. While the world is sleeping, then we should be watching. And of course, if we're watching, then we should be praying. Let me jump over now, since I'm in Sirach, maybe one of the last few precepts. Sirach 18 verse 24. It says, think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, and the time of vengeance when he shall turn away his face. And as a matter of fact, I will get one last one. This is Isaiah 55 and verse 6. Let me highlight it for my own records. Isaiah 55 verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Anything can happen at any moment. Our job is to continue watching, because the Lord has blessed us with the light to see. He's given us his eye salve, and we have the understanding of the Holy Scriptures, and we have to count ourselves blessed to see prophecy. So if we see prophecy, we have to prepare ourselves. How do we do that? We spiritually prepare ourselves by staying in this word, praying, fasting, showing brotherly love, and just ultimately doing the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So I just wanted to bring out those two videos. Here it is again if you wanted to check out the entire video. And then this article as well. I'll copy it and paste this in post-production if you wanted to watch the entire interview. It was only about 6 minutes long, and it actually was pretty good. But these videos are just showing, listen, if Esau, Edom's economists and investors are all lining up and saying, look, there's going to come some kind of economic collapse very soon, watch out for it, then we line these things out with prophecy, and of course we push it out to the people. So watch and pray, and don't be a part of that number that's sleeping. So call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash, the belongs to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.